Salvete omnes and welcome to this tutorial. We are going to read the passage from chapter 7 in the Red Book of Oxford, the Oxford Latin course. Flavius' story, the Siege of Troy. So how I'm going to do this is I will first read the Latin and then we will translate. Okay, let us begin. Incipiamus. Agamemnon rex Mycenarum omnes principes Graecorum convocat. Iubet eos bellum in Troianos parara, frater eius Menelaus ad est. Achilles herorum fortissimus venit a Thessalia. Ad est Ulixes ab Ithaca cum comitibus et multi alii. Magnum excercitium parant et multas naves. Ad urbem Troiam navigant, et Troianus oppugnant. Okay, so to me it seems the best way to start translating any Latin is always to find the verb first. So let's identify all the verbs and then we take it from there. In the first sentence, this convocat is our verb. Then we have iubet in the second sentence. Iubet parare. Frater eius ad est. Herorum fortissimus venit. He comes. Ad est again. Magnum excercitium parant. They prepare. Navigant et oppugnant. Right, those are our verbs. Okay, so the first thing always is to find and translate the verb. Once you've found and translated the verb, find the subject, and then after that the object, and after that anything else that might be in the sentence. So we found all the verbs. So let's take it sentence by sentence and translate the verb, then find the subject, the object, and whatever else is in the sentence. So in the first sentence, convocat as our verb. Convocat means, or translates to he called together, from voco, vocare, convocat. You see the T at the end over there, a third person singular, he, she, it. So he, she, it calls. I think in this case, he calls, convocat, together, he calls together. Who is doing the calling together? Who convocat? And in this case, we'd look for a nominative, because it's the subject. Yeah, so when you're looking for the subject, you look for a nominative, although this might not always be the case. Sometimes it might be implied in the verb, as in iubet, but we'll get there now. Okay, so we're looking for a nominative, and here, Agamemnon, this is our nominative. Agamemnon convocat. Agamemnon calls together. And I think I should quickly make a note about this. In this piece we're going to be reading, there are a lot of Greek names. And Greek names, the nominative doesn't always look like you would expect a nominative to look, but it is nonetheless a nominative. But I'll point them out as we go along. You should also be able to identify them from the context and say that this is a nominative, but for now I'll point them out. Okay, so Agamemnon convocat. Then we have this little phrase, rex Mycenarum. And I see this rex, and I know the word rex, regis, and I know rex is the nominative form. So that rex has to be nominative also. But now we have two nominatives, Agamemnon and rex. And this is known as apposition. It means that you just have two nominatives, both referring to the same thing. And this is Agamemnon, the king. You'd use the same thing if you say something like, Peter, my friend, is coming to visit by me today. Both are in the nominative, both are the subject, both are doing the verb. And this is apposition. So Agamemnon is in a sense being described as the king. Agamemnon, the king, calls together. Okay, so we have found the verb and translated it, convocat, and we found the subject. Agamemnon, rex, Agamemnon, the king. Now let's find the object, the one or the thing being done to. And if I look in the sentence, I suspect that it might be this omnes principes. And the reason I think it's this is because I see the es, and I know es in a third declension can either be a nominative plural or an accusative plural. And on top of that, if I look at the other forms, Mycenarum and Graecorum, I know those forms aren't accusative because arum and orum are genitive plurals. So it has to be omnes principes, all the princes. So Agamemnon, the king, calls together all the princes. And now we are left with Mycenarum and Graecorum. They are genitive plurals, and I know this from the Mycenarum, that arum is a genitive plural, and the same with Graecorum, orum, genitive plural. So how do we translate the genitive? Of something. So Mycenarum, of the Mycenians, Graecorum, of the Greeks. So how would we translate this sentence then? Agamemnon, the king of the Mycenians, calls together all the princes of the Greeks. Okay, good. Let's move on to the second sentence. Iubet eos bellum in Trojanus parare. So this verb iubet means to order. He orders, and you see once again the T at the end. Iubet, he orders. But we also know that the iubet is one of those verbs which take an infinitive, the same as possum, debeo, cupio, volo. So if you see iubet, look for an infinitive. It doesn't mean that there will always be an infinitive, but more often than not, there will be an infinitive. So iubet, infinitive. And there at the end of the sentence, we have our infinitive, parare, to prepare. So iubet, he orders to prepare. Okay, so we found and translated the verbs. Now let's find the subject. Who is doing the ordering? And I don't think it's anyone in this sentence. I think this iubet refers back to Agamemnon. Agamemnon konvokat, he calls together. Agamemnon iubet, he orders. And the reason I'm saying this is I don't think none of these forms here look as if they can be a nominative, except maybe the Balme, but I don't think a war orders to prepare. So I think definitely Agamemnon, he orders to prepare. What does he order to prepare? He orders eos. No, not purple. We want green for accusative, for object. Okay, maybe I should just say what I'm doing. As I'm going along, I'm color coding everything. So I'm putting verbs in one color, the subject in another color, the object in another color, genitive in another color. And I think this is useful because it helps your eye to distinguish what is what. I know at least it helps me, and if you are going to write a test or an exam and you need to translate, even if you're just translating at home, this might help you sort out what's going on in the sentence, what's happening in the Latin, and make it easier for you to translate. Okay, so he orders them to prepare. And then we have another accusative, bellum. So he orders them to prepare a battle, or perhaps to prepare for battle. And it seems that each of these verbs take an accusative. He orders them to prepare for battle. And then we have this last preposition, in Trojanos. So when I see a preposition, what I think is, or what I think to myself is, okay, a preposition always takes a case, either an accusative or an ablative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, at least when I'm working on paper, I'm going to put a bracket around in, and the other part of the brackets at whatever I think follows the in. And this will help me to just put this together. It helps you sort your sentence so it becomes easier to translate. So I know in can take either an accusative or an ablative, but in this case I see Trojanos and I think, okay, well, it's taking an accusative because that os is accusative. So I say he orders them, iubet eos, parare bellum, to prepare for battle in Trojanus, into the Trojans, against the Trojans. So he orders them to prepare for battle against the Trojans. Okay, good. Let's continue to the third sentence. Frater eius Menelaus ad est. In this sentence, the verb is ad est. This ad est is from the verb ad sum. Sum is a fui. This is a very important verb, sum. It means to be. And you should really memorize the forms of sum, the principal parts and the conjugation. Sum es a fui and the conjugation sum es sumus est sunt. It's an extremely important verb and it appears everywhere. So I think it's definitely worth your time and while to memorize this verb. So this ad est means he is there, he is present. The verb ad sum means to be there, to be present. So now we found the verb and translated the verb, but who is being present? Who is the subject? And here I see frater. Frater looks like a nominative, and it is a nominative, the brother, his brother. So the brother is there, frater ad est. And then I see this Menelaus, and I see the us at the end, and I think this can also be a nominative. And if you think that, you're quite right, it is a nominative. And this is the same thing that's happening here, happened at the beginning with Agamemnon Rex. Agamemnon the king, the brother Menelaus. This brother is being described by eios, a genitive singular of the pronoun is, it. Of him, his. So his brother, the brother of him, Menelaus, was there. So his brother was there. Okay, next sentence. Achilles herorum fortissimus venit Thessalia. Okay, so our verb venit. I see venit, and venit means he comes. He, singular, third person singular from the sea, he comes. And while I'm seeing this and I translate he comes, my eye catches that and I know is a preposition, so I'm just going to put it in brackets, which in this PDF is just highlighting in sort of a dark maroon grape color. I don't know how to type brackets in PDF. In any case, so he comes, and then we leave that for now. We will come back to it. Okay, so who is coming? Let's look for a subject. And I see this Achilles. Okay, so Achilles comes. But I also see this fortimus, and I see the us at the end, and I think, okay, this can also be a nominative, second declension nominative, and I'm right, it is a nominative. Fortissimus, from fortis, forte, to brave, fortis, brave or strong, and then this is the superlative, the bravest, the strongest. And this is not apposition, it's just an adjective describing Achilles. Achilles, the bravest, and then I have this herorum, and I see the orum, and I know, okay, this is a genitive plural, like we have here. Rex Mycenarum principes Graecorum fortissimus herorum, the bravest of the heroes, a genitive plural. So Achilles, the bravest of the heroes, comes. And then we have a Thessalia. A or ab meaning from plus the ablative, and I see there's the ablative. Okay, so from Thessaly. So Achilles, the bravest of the heroes, comes from Thessaly. Good. In our next sentence, we have ad est as the verb again. He is there, he is present. Who is present? The subject, the nominative. Ulixes. Ulixes ad est. Ulixes is present. And then we see a lot of prepositions. Okay, ab Ithaca. So we put that in a bracket, and we see cum comitibus, we put that in a bracket. And then this last piece of the sentence, et multi alii. Okay, what can this be? If we just look at the form, it can either be a genitive singular of many others, or it can be a nominative plural, many others. And my guess in this case is that it'll be a nominative plural, simply because there is no other noun around this for it to be a genitive, to describe a genitive. And also it makes sense in the context if I say Ulysses is present and many others. And then the verb would be implied here, and many others are present. So Ulysses is present and many others are also present. Okay, so what do we do with these prepositions then? A or ab, meaning from, and it takes the ablative. We just had it with Thessalia. So from Ithaca. Cum means with, and it also takes the ablative. And here we have the ablative plural. Comit ibus. Ibus, the ablative plural. So with comrades. So this sentence then, Ulysses is present from Ithaca with many comrades, or with comrades and many others. So Ulysses is there from Ithaca with comrades and many others, meaning many others are there. Okay, the last sentence of this paragraph has three verbs, and the first one, parant. We see that NT, and NT immediately you think third person plural. Obst, mostes, hnt. Third person plural, parant. And we know paro, parare, to prepare. So parant, they prepare. Who are they? Well, let's see if we can find a nominative. This could maybe be a nominative, but I don't think so. And the reason is because this is singular and the verb is plural, so not this. And here we have et, so I don't think what after it would be a nominative. Maybe, maybe not, but I don't think so. Okay, so maybe it's just implied in the verb. They prepare, and it would also make sense if this they refers to the multi alii, Ulysses, Achilles, Menelaus, Agamemnon, all these people, the princes of Greece. They are preparing. What are they preparing? So we found the verb, parant, they prepare, they are preparing. We found the subject, they, it's implied in the verb. Now we need to find the object. Who is prepared? What is being prepared? Magnum exercitium. And if you tell me this is an accusative, I would believe you because of the M at the end there. Magnum exercitium, a neuter accusative singular. They prepare a great army, a big army. Et multas naves ad urbem Troiam navigant. Navigant, NT at the end, they sail. So they prepare a great army and they sail. What do they sail? Multas naves, many ships. They sail many ships. And the many ships is also accusative. Us, you see that us over there. First declension, accusative plural, well, actually just feminine plural, not first declension, because naves is third declension. Third declension accusative plural, and multas feminine accusative plural. Multas naves, many ships. Ad, and I see this preposition, so I put him in the bracket, the grape colored bracket. Ad urbem Troiam. Ad plus accusative means to or towards, to the Trojan city, or to the city Troy. And this also in a sense is his apposition. The city Troy. Maybe in English we'll say to the city of Troy. Okay, so what do we have so far? They prepare a great army and they sail many ships to the city Troy. Et Troianos oppugnant. Okay, so how do we translate oppugnant? NT at the end, so they, and oppugno means to attack. So they attack, oppugnant, they attack. What do they attack? Troianos. And this makes sense because that is an accusative plural, os, accusative plural. So they attack the Trojans. Okay, good. Okay, maybe I should say this now. How do I know that that is an accusative plural? How do I know that that's an accusative singular, urbem? How do I know that multis can be a nominative plural? How do I know that this is an accusative singular? Well, the only way to really know is to simply memorize your declensions. Know what your forms are. You're going to have a hard time learning Latin and reading Latin if you don't memorize these forms. I know there are a lot, but they are absolutely essential and they're worthwhile as well. You'll see once you've memorized them, it'll feel so good to be able to read a text and then know what it is, know what this form is. For example, this Trojanos, it can only be accusative plural, the second declension. So you don't need to wonder about what is it. You know it is a accusative plural of the second declension. Okay, let's continue to the second paragraph. Sed Trojani urbem fortiter defendunt. And from now on, I'll just highlight my verbs as we go along. It'll save some time, and it's not that hard to spot verbs, even if you don't know what they mean. Sed Trojani urbem fortiter defendunt. Decem annos Graeci urbem obsident. Sed eam capere non possunt. That capere, infinitive, and I'm happy to see the infinitive because I know the verb possunt takes the infinitive. Tandem Agamemnon et Achilles in rixam cadunt. Achilles iratus est. Non diutius pugnant, sed prope naves manent otiosus. Trojani iam Graecos vincunt, et pellunt ad naves. Okay, we found all the verbs, so let's start translating them. Defendunt, they defend. NT at the end, they, defendo, to defend. So they defend. Who is defending? Trojani. Nominative plural, Trojani. Trojani defendunt. The Trojans are defending. What are they defending? Urbem, the city. They are defending their city. And then we have sed and fortiter. But the Trojans defend their city bravely. Sed Trojani defendunt urbem fortiter. Good. Let's go to the next sentence. Decem annos Graeci urbem obsident. Let's just go to there. Obsident. NT at the end. So they are doing something. What does obsideo mean? It means to besiege. So they besiege. Who is besieging? And if I had to find a nominative plural, I would guess it had to be Graeci. The Graeci, the Greeks besiege. What do they besiege? Urbem. And you see the M over there, accusative singular. So Graeci, second declension, nominative plural. Urbem, third declension, accusative singular. The Greeks besiege the urbem, the city. But what do we do with this decem annos? Because annos is also an accusative, the os there. I was just talking about it with Trojanos. This decem annos is known as the accusative of time, how long, or the duration of time. And you haven't learned this yet, but I think you're going to learn it in the second semester. But basically it translates to for 10 years. Decem, 10, decem annos, for 10 years. And I think maybe I'll put this in gray. For 10 years, the Greeks besieged the city. Sed eam capere non possunt. Okay, said, but. Maybe we should put all these conjunctions in red. Said. Okay, but. Possunt, from possum, posse, potui. This is also a very important verb, to be able, to can. And it's a regular verb. Possum, potes, potest, possumus, potestis, possunt. But it's very important, make sure you know the form. So possunt, they are able, they can. But, sed possunt, but they can. Sed non possunt, but they cannot. Capere, take. And what we know about possunt is that it wants an infinitive. It wants another verb to follow it. I am able to, yes, they need something. They are able to take. They are not able to take. So always remember when you see posunt to look for an infinitive. Same thing we had earlier with ubet. When you see ubet, always look for an infinitive. When you see posunt, always look for an infinitive to go with posunt. So they are not able to take. And the only thing left in the sentence is this eyam. And eyam means her, literally, but here we might translate it as it. We know it's accusative singular because that M over there, and it refers to the city. Urbs, orbis is a feminine word. So they are not able to take it or to take her, referring to the city. Okay, good. Tandem Agamemnon et Achilles in rixam cadunt. Cadunt, NT at the end, they, cado, cadere, to fall, so they fall. Who falls? Well, Agamemnon is a nominative and Achilles is a nominative. So Agamemnon et Achilles and Achilles fall, they fall. And then we have this in rixam and prepositions. So I put my brackets, the grape-colored brackets. In rixam, they fall into a quarrel or into a disagreement. So Agamemnon and Achilles, cadunt, they fall into a quarrel. And now we're left with this tandem, and we know tandem means at last or finally. Should be the same color. So at last, Agamemnon and Achilles fall into a quarrel or a disagreement. I'm just checking if I missed any up here. Okay, no. So they fall into a disagreement. And it makes sense that this is plural because Agamemnon and Achilles together are they. They fall into a disagreement. Although Agamemnon and Achilles separately are singular. Agamemnon is a nominative singular and Achilles is a nominative singular. But together they are nominative plural, and that is why cadunt has the nt. Good. Next sentence. Achilles iratus est. Okay, so est from the verb sum, to be. So est, he, she, it is. So let's find the person who is ising, who is being. And I think it says Achilles, the nominative. Achilles is, and we see this us at the end, so we say, okay, this must also be a masculine nominative. And we know iratus means angry, so Achilles iratus est. Achilles is angry. Good. Next sentence, non diutius pugnant. And then we have said, so we'll come back to what is after said now, but non diutius pugnant. Not pugnant, T at the end, T, he, she, it, third person singular, and pugno, pugnare, to fight. So he, non-pugnant, he doesn't fight. Diutius, this diutius is a superlative of diu, which means for a long time. So diutius, longer, for a longer time. And then this non-diutius, no longer he fights. So Achilles is angry, he no longer fights. Sed propenaues manet otiosus. Okay, I see this prope, and I know it's a preposition, so I'm going to put my grape-colored brackets around it. Propenaues. Let's translate manet. Manet from maneo, manere, to stay or to remain. T at the end, he, she, it stays or remains. Probably he again referring to Achilles. He remains otius. And I see this os at the end. So nominative singular. And I look it up in the dictionary and the gloss, and it says idle. So manet otiosus. He remains idle. He stays idle. Prope naues. Prope is accusative, and prope means near or close to, or against even. Naues. Close to the ships, near the ships, but he remains near the ships. So this whole sentence then is, he no longer fights, but remains idle near the ships. Otiosus, adjective describing Achilles. All right. Trojani jam Graikos vincunt. Vincunt, NT at the end. They are doing something. What are they doing? Winko. They conquer. Vincunt, they conquer. Who is doing the conquering? Trojani, nominative plural, E at the end. Trojani vincunt, they conquer. What do they conquer? Who do they conquer? Graikos. Accusative, how do I know this is accusative? Os ending. Os can only be accusative plural. So the Trojans now conquer the Greeks. Jam means now or already. Trojani, jam Graikos vincunt. The Trojans now conquer the Greeks, or already conquered the Greeks. Et pellunt ad naves. Pellunt means to drive or to force. And I see the NT at the end, so they drive or they force. Ad naves, so preposition, immediately go to my brackets. Ad naves, they drive to the ships, or they force to the ships. So the Trojans conquer the Greeks and force the Greeks to the ships. How do I know that this also refers to the Greeks, meaning that they are also forcing the Greeks? Well, this is the only accusative in the sentence, and it would make sense to put it in there. Maybe even to say the Trojans now conquer the Greeks and force them, that them meaning them, the Greeks, to their ships. Okay, good. Next paragraph, let's find and translate all the verbs. Agamemnon, amicos, ad Achille mitit. Mitit is a verb. Qui eum jubent, ad pugnam redire. There we have the infinitive. By the way, how do I know if a verb is in the infinitive? Well, usually you'll see the re at the end. Re, cap, redire, capre. Where's another one? Parar. So if you see this re at the end, you know infinitive. And in any case, it makes sense that he uses an infinitive because he jubent. And you remember from earlier, jubeo. Jubeo begs you to have an infinitive. It orders you to find the infinitive. Jubent, redire. Anyways, ili o Achilles inquit, inquiunt, they say. And here we have some quotation marks, so someone is talking, which makes sense with inquiunt, they say. What do they say? O Achilles, Trojani nos vincunt, et pellunt, in magno periculo sumus. Tu debes, also wants an infinitive, debes ad pugnam redire. Well, there's our infinitive. This makes me happy. Debes redire et comites defendere, sed ille amicos non audit. Audit is a verb, audit. Neque ab ira desistit. Okay, good. So we found all the verbs. Let's translate them in their sentences now. First sentence, Agamemnon amicos ad Achille mitit. Mitit, from mito, mitere, means to send, and the T, the lonely singular T at the end, tells me this is a third person singular, he, she, it. So he, she, it sends. Who is doing the sending? Let's find the subject. And it seems to me that it could be this Agamemnon. Agamemnon sends. Who does he send? What does he send? Let's look for an accusative. I see two accusatives, amicos and Achillem. But this Achillem seems to follow the ad, so I'm going to put that in my grape-colored brackets and deal with it later, and then find or deal with the other accusative first. So amicos. So Agamemnon sends the friends. Agamemnon sends the friends. And then this ad al Achillem. Ad means to or towards and takes an accusative. So ad Achillem, to Achilles. So Agamemnon sends the friends to Achilles. Next part. Qui eum jubent ad pugnam redire. Okay, so let's look at jubent. NT, so we know it's they. They order from jubeo, they order. So they order plus infinitive redire, to return. They order to return. Who is ordering? Who is doing the ordering? It seems to me that it would be this grief. It seems to me that the ordering would be done by the qui. Now, this qui is a relative pronoun. You have not learned it yet, but it refers back to the amigos. Agamemnon sends friends who order. Who order. And what are they ordering? Whom are they ordering? Eum. So the friends who order him. Eum, obviously referring back to Achilles now. So they order him ad pugnam. Preposition, brackets, there we go. So they order him to return. So they order him to return to the battle. So Agamemnon sends friends to Achilles who order him to return to the battle. Okay, in this next sentence, we have sort of two parts of the sentence. We have the part outside the quotation marks and the part inside the quotation marks. Let's first do the part outside the quotation marks and then inside the quotation marks. Okay, so outside the quotation marks, we have ili and inquut. The rest are in quotation marks. So inquunt, we said already, means they say. It's the plural of inquit. He says, she says. Inquiunt, they say. So who could this be? I think probably the only other word in the sentence, ili. They say. Yes, they say inquint. I'm thinking that this could also be a dative singular, but I'm really happy to just settle for the nominative singular. They say. If it was dative, it would be they say to him, but I don't think that that's the case here. It's just they say. Okay, let's go inside the quotation marks now. What do they say? They say, o Achilles. Whenever you see this or, you know it's a very, very good tip that what might follow is going to be a vocative. Oh, Achilles, he's being addressed, so it has to be the vocative. And remember the rule about the vocative. The vocative always looks the same as the nominative, except second declension, masculine singular, the form in us. And the vocative of that is e. For the rest of the time, it looks exactly the same as the nominative. So I'm not surprised when I look at this Achilles, and I see it looks like a nominative, but I know it's not nominative, it's a vocative. Let's make it pink. Let's make the vocative pink. O Achilles. Okay, and what do they say to Achilles then? They say, O Achilles, Trojani nos vincunt. Okay, I think we had this sentence structure earlier. Trojani Graecos vincunt. Okay, so vincunt, NT, they, vinco, they conquer, vincunt. Who conquers? Trojani. Trojani conquer. And what do they conquer, or who do they conquer? Nos. Trojani nos vincunt. The Trojans conquer us. Et pellunt, and they drive. We had this earlier as well. From pelo and the NT, they, and they drive ad naves. Okay, so I see a preposition. So what do? I get my grape-colored brackets, and I put it in the brackets. So the Trojans are conquering us, and they are driving us to our ships, to the ships. Yes, okay, next sentence. In magno periculo sumus. Okay, I see a preposition in, and I know in can take either the accusative or the ablative, so I'm going to put in the brackets along. We'll deal with it later. Magno, there's the ablative. Periculo, also ablative. And then the only other word left in the sentence, sumos. So sumos comes from the verb sum. Sum is a fui, to be. So sumos, we are. So the paradigm goes sum es est, sumus estis sunt, sumus, we are. We are, what are we? In magno periculo. In great danger, periculum, a danger. So we are in great danger. Next sentence, tu debes ad pugnam regire et comites defendere. Debes, debes, from debeo to owe, to have to ought, to must. And I see this S at the end, which is a welcome change from the usual T we see. So I see this S at the end. I don't know, ost, mustasent, os, second person singular. So you must, you have to. And so I know the subject of this is you, but they also give me this tool, which I know means you. So that is not the same color blue. Tu debes, you have to, or you must. And then this debes, same as you bent, and the same as possunt up here, always want an infinitive. So if you see debes, 99% of the time you have to look for an infinitive. So tu debes and redire, there is infinitive. Defendere, there is another infinitive. Okay, so you have to redire, you have to return. Et defendere, and defend. So you have to return and defend. Okay, so you have to return ad pugnam. What do we do with ad pugnam? Well, prepositions, so I'm going to put it in my brackets. Ad to or towards plus accusative, and there we have the M singular for accusative singular, to the battle. So you have to return to the battle. Et comites defendere, and defend, you have to defend. What do you have to defend? Comites, accusative plural. I know this is accusative, although it is the ES, I know it has to be an accusative plural because it can't be a nominative because we already have the nominative, tu debes. And also the verb is singular in any case, debes. So it won't be, you know, why would it have a plural nominative if the verb is singular in the first place? So this definitely won't be nominative, it has to be accusative. So to defend comrades. So you have to return to the battle and defend your comrades, or defend the comrades. Good, last sentence of this paragraph. Sed ille amicus non audit. Audit, audio, audire, hear, and listen. A T at the end, he, she, it. So he hears, non audit, he does not hear. And we have this ille, nominative singular he non-audit. He does not hear. What does he not hear? Amicus. Amicus. His friends. And os, accusative plural. He does not hear his friends. And then we have that but at the beginning. Said, but he does not hear his friends. We can even translate this as does not listen to his friends, but he does not listen to his friends. Sed ille amicus non audit, neque, neither, nor, desistit, does he desist, does he cease, does he go away from, or does he go away? Ab ira, ab, preposition. What do I do with the preposition? Give it a bracket. Ab, or a, takes the adjective and it means away, away from. Away from anger. Ira is anger, so away from your anger. So, but he does not listen to his friends, he does not hear his friends, neither does he desist from his anger. In other words, he doesn't stop being angry, he's still very angry. Okay, let's do the second last paragraph. Mox Trojani naves oppugnant, et incendunt. Patroclus amicus carus ad Achillem accedit, et Trojani jam naves incendunt inquit. Debes ab ira desistere. Debes, debeo, always wanting an infinitive. There we have it. Debes ab ira desistere et amicus adiuare. Si tu pugnare non vis, debes me cum comitibus tuis impugna mitere. Debes, infinitive, mitere. Itaque, Achilles invitus Patroclum impugna mitit. Ille arma Achilles induit, et comites impugnam ducit. Bene, let's start translating. Mox Trojani naves oppugnant et incendunt. Oppugnant means oppugno, to attack. We had it there we had, or porknut also, they attack, but here we have they attack. NT at the end, they, third person plural, they attack, or porknut. Who is attacking? Trojani. The Trojans attack. They are attacking. What are they attacking? Attacking the Nawes. Accusative plural, Nawes. It can't be nominative because we already have a nominative, but accusative makes sense. So the Trojans attack the ships. Mox. Mox means soon. Maybe we should put all the adverbs in one color. What about purple? Does it look? Yeah, okay, purple can go. Let me just put all the others also. Yum is an adverb. Diotios is an adverb. There was another one. Fortiter is an adverb. Yeah, bene. So soon the Trojans attack the ships, et incendunt, and burn them, set them alight. So this is not boding well for the Greeks. They are being attacked and their ships are being burnt. Also, bene, the second sentence. Patroclus amicus carus ad Achillem accedit. Et. Okay, we'll get to that now. Accedit. T at the end, he, she, it, so third person singular. And acedo means to approach, to go to. So acedo, he approaches. Who is approaching? Let's look for a nominative. Us over there, so I'm happy with Patroclus, but I also see amicus carus, so I'm going to highlight that as well. So Patroclus approaches, and then Patroclus is described as amicus carus. Patroclus, a dear friend, approaches. Once again, we have a position here, the same as Agamemnon Rex Frater Menelaus. Here we just have Patroclus amicus. So Patroclus, a dear friend, ad Achillem, preposition, so brackets, ad Achillem, accedit. Ad, two words plus accusative, Achillem, M at the end, okay. Accusative singular, so ad Achilles, to Achilles. So Patroclus, a dear friend, approaches Achilles, or approaches to Achilles. Et. Quotation marks, inquit. I missed that verb. Okay, inquit, he says. So he approaches Achilles, et inquit, and he says, this is now everything outside of the quotation marks. We're going to the quotation marks now. So he approaches Achilles and says, now inside the quotation marks, Trojani jam naves incendunt. And we've had the sentence before, so it will be easy to translate. But incendunt, incendo, to burn, to set alight. NT, they burn, they set alight. Who's doing this? The Trojani, the Trojans. So the Trojans set alight. The Trojans burn. What are they burning? Naves. Actually, it's right above. Trojani, naves, incendum. There we go. The Trojans are setting alight. They are burning. What are they burning? Naves, our ships, the ships. When are they doing it? How are they doing it? The adverb yam, now, already. So the Trojans are now setting our ships alight, or the Trojans are already burning our ships. Not good. Okay. Second part of the quotation marks. Debes ab ira desistere et amicos adiuare. So if I see debes, I think, okay, infinitive. When you see debes, when you see debeo, when you see possum, cupio, volo, any of those verbs, immediately think infinitive. I need to find that infinitive. Okay, so debes, infinitive. Debes desistere. You have to desist. You have to cease. Et adiuare. You have to cease and help. Both of these infinitives, re, re. Adiuare, the ad just strengthening the uare, adiuare, help. Okay, so you have to, I see the S at the end, second person singular from debeo. You have to desist. Preposition, so I put it in brackets. Ab plus the ablative means away from, and ira we know means anger. So you have to desist from your anger. You have to go away from your anger. You have to cease from your anger. Et adjuare, and help, amicus. And I know this is accusative because I see the OS, and the OS can only be second declension, masculine, accusative, plural. So you have to desist from your anger and help your friends. Next sentence. Si tu pugnare non vis. Okay. Si we know means if, so I'm just going to make it red so long, the conjunction si. Actually, I should make all these eds red as well, but I'm not going to do that now. Okay, si. Okay, let's find the verbs pugnare and vis. Vis is from the verb volo wele, which means to wish, to want to. And it's an irregular verb. You simply have to learn it. Volo, vis, volt, volumus, voltis, volunt. So that vis, second person singular. If you want to, if you wish, and non, if you do not want to, pugnare, fight. So if you see this verb volo, always look for an infinitive. Want to fight. So if you do not want to fight, and we see this is tu, and we know it's nominative. So if you do not want to fight, comma, next sentence. Debes me cum comitibus tuis in pugnam mittere. Debes, always look for an infinitive. Debes mittere. You have to send. What do you have to send? Who do you have to send? Look for an infinitive, look for an infinitive. I see this infinitive, but I also see a preposition. So brackets. Not infinitive, not accusative, non-accusative, but there is a preposition, so let's put that in a bracket as well. And then we see me. Okay, me could be an accusative, sorry. So okay, accusative. So you have to send me. You have to send me. And cum comitibus tuis. Okay, cum means with, and it takes the ablative. Comitibus from comes, or comis, comitis, and this ibus, ablative plural, tuis, ablative plural. So you have to send me with your comrades in pugnam, into battle. So you have to send me with your comrades into battle. Okay, next sentence, itaque, and so. Achilles in vitus patroclum in pugna mitit. Okay, let's find the verb, mitit, itaque, mitit. And so he sends. Who sends? Who's doing the sending? Achilles, Achilles. But we see this in vitus, which has a US at the end. So we know this must also be nominative. So Achilles in vitus, unwillingly, or unwilling. This is just an adjective, but remember that sometimes an adjective describing the nominative can be translated as an adverb. So Achilles unwillingly sends. What does he send? Who does he send? Let's look for an accusative. And I see pugnam in, which I'll put a bracket around now, patroclum. So Achilles unwillingly sends Patroclus in pugnam, into battle. Okay, last sentence of this paragraph. Ille arma Achilles induit, et comites in pugnam ducit. Okay, so induit means to put on. And just a side note here, induit can sometimes take two infinitives in the sense of put something on someone. For example, the mother dresses her boy, or the mother puts a jacket on her boy. And that would take two accusatives. But in any case, okay, so induit. So who puts on? Ile, the nominative there. Ile induit. He puts on. What does he put on? We need to look for an accusative. None of these really look like an accusative, except maybe arma. And if you would guess that is an accusative, you'd guess right. It is an accusative plural. Remember, accusative plural always ends in a. Accusative plural always ends in a. Accusative plural always ends in a. There is another Sorry, I'm lying. The accusative neuter always ends in R. Let me just say that again. The accusative neuter ends in R. A neuter noun in the accusative plural always ends in R. I feel I'm repeating myself a lot, but I'm not repeating the right thing. An accusative, a neuter noun in the accusative plural always ends in R. And then we have that R. Another rule of the neuter noun is that the nominative and the nominative and the accusative of a neuter noun is always the same. Okay, in case, sorry about that whole story. So he puts on the arms, the weapons, the armor. Achilles, what could this is be? Well, I know the noun Achilles is a third declension noun, and the only thing is can be of a third declension noun is the genitive. So I'm going to guess it's genitive. So he puts on the arms of Achilles, the weapons, the armor, the arms of Achilles. Et ducit, and he leads. Duco ducere, to lead. T, he leads. What does he lead? Who does he lead? Comites, the comrades. And this again has to be the accusative. It can't be the nominative because the verb is singular. So you can't have a plural subject doing a singular verb. You can't have them. You can't say the comrades leads. Doesn't work. You have to say he leads the comrades. And then we have this preposition in pugnam, so I'll put my brackets around it. And he leads the comrades into battle. Okay, so he puts on the arms of Achilles and leads the comrades into battle. Okay, optime. Let us do the last paragraph. Trojani, ubi arma Achilles vident, deriti sunt, et ad urbem fugiunt, Patroclus in eos corrit, et multos occidit. Sed Hector fortissimus Trojanorum resistit, et Patroclum in pugna mocat. Hastam jacit, et Patroclum interficit. Okay, those are our verbs. Let us find their subjects and their objects and translate them. Okay, Trojani, and I see a comma, ubi arma Achilles vident, comma, deriti sunt. Okay, so let's begin with the sunt, and for now just ignore what's in between the commas. Okay, the Trojans sunt, Trojani sunt. They are the Trojans. Sorry, doing this bit back to front. So they are sunt. They are from sum esse fui. Sum es est sumus estis sunt. Sunt. They are. Who are the Trojans? Trojani sunt. And then I see this e, and I know this also has to be a nominative, and it's describing Trojani. The Trojani deriti sunt. The Trojans are afraid. They are terrified. Okay, let's quickly do this in between the brackets. Vident, video, videre, to see, the nt at the end. They see. And obviously this is the Trojans also. The Trojans, they see. What is this ubi? Ubi means when. So let's put ubi. Sorry, I just realized now that this yum has to be, no, it's, it has to be dark purple. Sorry. Some sort of OCD, something kicking in here. Okay, good. The Trojans, when they see, ubi vident, when they see, what do they see? The arma, the arms, and we have similar to above, arma Achilles, sorry, arma Achilles, the arms of Achilles. So the Trojans, when they see the arms of Achilles, are afraid. Et ad urbem. What do I do when I see a preposition? I give it a bracket, a grape-colored bracket. Ad urbem fugiunt. The Trojans, when they see the arms of Achilles, are terrified, and fugiunt, they flee, fugio, fugire, to flee, fugio, fugire. Any case, nt, they, fugiunt, they flee, ad urbem, ad plus accusative towards, urbem, the accusative singular of urbs, urbis, city. So they flee to the city. So the Trojans, when they see the arms of Achilles, are terrified and they flee to the city. Patroclus in eos curit. Okay, so let's go to curit. Curit means to run. He runs. And T at the end, he, she, it, third person singular. So he runs. Curit, he runs. Who runs? Patroclus. Patroclus runs. And then we are left in the middle with this prepositional phrase, in eos. So I put my brackets around it, make it purple. Well, grape color, maybe it's olive color, but in any case, in eos, into them, eos, them, into them. So Patroclus runs into them, et multos occidit. Occidit, third person singular, you see the T at the end, occidit, he kills multos, accusative plural, multos, many, and he kills many. So Patroclus runs into them and kills many. This is, multos is strictly an accusative. Adjective, but it's used as a noun here. Kills many, meaning many of the Trojans. But it's not necessary to say Trojans. It's fine to say many, and he kills many. Okay, sed Hector fortissimus Troianorum resistit. Sed, let's make that red. Sed Hector fortissimus Troianorum resistit. But resistit, T at the end, he resists, fights back, resistit. Who fights back? Hector. Hector resistit. Hector resists. And I see this us over here. Okay, nominative singular also, describing Hector. Hector, the bravest, the strongest. Then what do I do with the Troianorum? We had this earlier, but you see the orum. So my guess is a genitive plural. So, but Hector resists. Hector, the strongest of the Trojans. Et Patroclum in pugnam vocat. And he calls, and this is now Hector still. Hector calls. So Hector resists and Hector calls, vocat. C for third person singular, calls. Who does he call? What does he call? Patroclum. And this has to be accusative singular. And he calls Patroclum, or Patroclus, he calls Patroclus in pugnam. And I see that preposition, so brackets in pug, oh la la. In pugnam, there we go. And he calls him in, takes either the accusative or the ablative, but we see here it takes the accusative at the end, into battle. So, but Hector, the bravest of the Trojans, resists and calls Patroclus into battle. Hastam iacit, et Patroclum interficit. Okay, so we see iacit, iacit from iaccio, iaccio, I think, or iacco. But in any case, it means to throw. It should not be confused with the verb iaccheo, which means to lie down. And how will you know the difference? Well, iacit has an I, iacche would have a E. So if you see the E, it's to lie down. If you see the I, it's to throw. So iacit. So he throws. Obviously, probably Hector, because I don't see any other nominative here. So he throws. What does he throw? Hastam. No. It is the accusative, the object of the sentence, green. So he throws a spear. Et interficit. I see the T at the end. So even if I don't know what this means, I know he's doing something, or she or it. So he, interficio means to kill. So he kills. What does he kill? Patroclum. See the M at the end, the accusative singular, and he kills Patroclus. Okay, Benny, we've read the whole piece. I will read a translation from the top now. But before I do that, maybe I should make this note. I realized this while I was translating this now. In Latin, it's extremely important to look at the end of a word. The end of the word is going to tell you everything. So if you're reading Latin and you don't know what 90% of the words mean, that's okay. You can go look them up. But you should be able to, from the endings of the words, guess what they are doing. So for example, if we take this last paragraph, Trojani vident. Okay, Trojani ubi arma Achilles vident teriti sunt. Okay, I don't know what Trojani means, but I see the I, so immediately my head should go, okay, this can be a genitive singular or a nominative plural. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, ubi arma. Okay, I see arma and I see the A, so I go, this can either be a first declension, feminine singular, or an ablative singular, or it can be a neuter plural. I don't know. Achilles. Oh, Achilles. I don't know what Achilles means, but this is can be a dative or an ablative plural of the first and second declension, or it can be a genitive singular of the third declension. And when you see these forms, the E, the A, the is, the nt, the E, nt, m, und, us, eos, it, this is what should be going through your head. The first thing you should see in Latin is the ending of the word, and then secondly, the meaning of the word. And I think this is a really good habit to start getting into if you want to translate Latin, is simply just before you start translating, just read through the Latin. Just read the Latin, even if you have no idea what it means. Just read through the Latin and try and identify what the markers might be in your head at the end. Remember that Latin is a very kind language, very kind indeed. It is always and always labeling your words for you, telling you exactly what they are doing. You never really have to wonder about anything, or worry for that matter, because Latin is telling you what it's doing. You just need to learn how to sort of decode decode what Latin is telling you. It's all there. Just need to find it. Okay, Benny, let's do a translation. This is a very colorful page. All right. Agamemnon, king of the Mycenians, called together all the princes of the Greeks. By the way, the Mycenians are sort of Greek. Not really, but they're sort of Greek. He ordered them to prepare for battle against the Trojans. His brother Menelaus was there. Achilles, the bravest of the heroes, came from Thessaly. Ulysses was there from Ithaca with comrades, and many others, in brackets, were also there. They are preparing a great army, and they sail many ships to the city Troy, and they attack the Trojans. But the Trojans bravely defend their city. For 10 years, the Greeks besiege the city, but they cannot take her or take it. At last, Agamemnon and Achilles fall into a, I lost the word, into a quarrel. They fall into a quarrel. Achilles is angry. He no longer fights, but remains idle near the ships. The Trojans now attack the Greeks and drive them to their ships. Agamemnon sends friends to Achilles, who order him to return to battle. They say, "O Achilles, the Trojans are attacking us and driving us to our ships. We are in great danger. You have to return to the battle and defend the comrades." But he does not listen to his friends, nor does he desist from his anger. Soon the Trojans attack the ships and set them alight. Soon the Trojans attack and set the ships alight. Patroclus, a dear friend, approaches Achilles and says, the Trojans are now burning our ships. You have to desist from your anger and help your friends. If you do not want to fight, you have to send me with your comrades into battle. And so Achilles unwillingly sends Patroclus into battle. He, Patroclus, puts on the armor of Achilles and leads the comrades into battle. The Trojans, when they see the arms of Achilles, are terrified and flee to the city. Patroclus runs into them and kills many. But Hector, the bravest of the Trojans, resists and calls Patroclus into battle. He throws a spear and kills Patroclus. Okay, that is all from me. I hope this was helpful, that you could learn something from it, or even if it'll just help you study for your exam. At the bottom here, you would say, you see hoc textum captum est de. This text is taken from, and it is very important always to reference. Whenever you're doing anything, remember to reference. And this is just the book, but I said that at the beginning of the video. All right, that's it from me. Good luck with everything, and see you in the next video.